everyone, this is Brittany here with your art fill of the week, and this week I am working in my watercolor sketchbook again, and I decided to make like a winter lodge scene. I've been inspired by a lot of just illustration or scenes of like different rooms and like where they have just like a bunch of objects and it just looks homey and like just cozy, and so I decided to try that out with some watercolor in my watercolor sketchbook because I need to do a few more pages in there, and also just try my hand at making one of them because I'm so inspired by them, and also work on some of my perspective drawing, which you see me using a ruler here to try and get that perspective correct, and I think for the most part I did. Maybe a few things look a little wonky because I wasn't quite perfect with the placement of things, trying to get it all centered on that one dot for my perspective. But yeah, that was one of the things I worked on while creating this scene, along with just getting used to watercolor and trying out new things with the watercolor. I did forget that I wanted to use salt on the window to like have that snow effect outside with the salt specks, because watercolor tends to not settle as much wherever you sprinkle the salt, so I'll have to do another snow type scene where I can try that out on, but it still kind of looked like a winter scene out there, just it wasn't like a snowy winter scene. And if you notice, I did do a wash of like a light blue before sketching out my scene, just to have kind of a tinted page where it was darker in spots with the blue, but also gave like a hue of blue behind what I then can paint over with other colors to just give it kind of like a base color, just to try out like a wash beforehand to see how that affects everything on top. And then here I'm going in with just the basic layer of color to what the objects are going to be colored. basic colors laid down with the watercolor, I went in with watercolor pencils to better define each piece, especially those chairs kind of lost their lines when I went over with watercolor. So the way watercolor pencils work is you can either put it on the dry page and then paint over it with a watercolor brush with clear water, or you can wet the page and then color, like use the pencil to color over, which I don't like that second method as much because you use so much more of the pencil that way. So usually I just go in, I draw out or like color in the spots that I want better defined with the pencil, and then go over with my brush in those spots. And here is where I start filling that bookshelf with just various objects, trying to do like a globe and then like a bust statue, maybe some bookends. I think next time I try to do one of these cozy rooms, I will kind of better define what I want on the shelf beforehand, and then figure out perspective and stuff, because I think I was worried about getting the perspective down, and then I didn't make the objects as dimensional as they could be, like maybe hanging off the shelf or something like that, to make them pop out a little bit more. They kind of just seem very flat. So next time I will foresee what I want on those shelves first, especially with watercolor. Once you put it down, you can't really go over that color with lighter colors, so you kind of have to future plan out how you're laying down your colors, especially with how it's layered on the page. You want to start very, very light, and especially if you want something white like that snowy outside, you have to make sure that you're leaving that white spot. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to really fix it unless you go over with like a completely different type of paint, like acrylic or like a white gel pen or something like that, which is fine if you want to do like mixed media. But if you're doing just straight watercolor, you can't really do that. So that's one of the things to get used to with watercolor. And here I'm adding in like a very dark navy blue, and I think that helped that sky out there to differentiate it from that ground cover snow, since I couldn't do like a snowy outside. I was at least able to make it more of a nighttime, darker, more almost gloomy, snowy snow day. So that I think helped out with my problem of not doing the snowy scene that I wanted to on the outside. And now we're getting to the end of this little sketchbook painting. I hope you enjoyed watching along as I created this. I do plan on doing another one of these like cozy rooms or like a kitchen or something. So leave in the comments if you have a suggestion for a type of room you maybe want me to do. And if you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a like. And also, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to see more videos like this. I do various art videos. And I will see you next week in the next video.